Alright, this is the second study guide that was available. I'm going to go ahead and work these problems out. They are not exactly like your test, but the same level and similar. So let's look at number 1. The first thing I notice at number 1 is that there is a plus sign in between the two polynomials. So that means I'm going to combine like terms. 9x to the 4th, 2x to the 4th is 11x to the 4th. I don't have any cube here. 2x cubed. Now I'm going to go to my next lowest, which is 2. So I have a negative 5x squared and a negative x squared, which is going to give me negative 6x squared. Just a second. Alright, sorry for the interruption there. So I've combined my x squareds. Now I want to combine my x's. I only have a 3x. And now I'm going to combine my constants. Positive 9 and negative 5 is going to give me positive 4. Alright. Number 2 is actually multiplication, two parentheses next to each other. So 10 x to the 3rd times 8x to the 4th would be 80 x to the 7, 30 x to the 4, and 10x cubed. And then you do the same thing with the negative 2. That's going to give me negative 16 x to the 4th, 6x, but that's not going to be a positive 6x, that should be a negative, because a negative times a positive is a negative, and negative 2. Let's see if there's anything I can combine. It looks like I have an x to the 4th that can be combined. So 80 x to the 7, positive 30 and negative 16 is going to give me positive 14 x to the 4th plus 10 x cubed minus 6x minus 2. And that would be your final answer. Number 3, is it really 7x minus 4 times 7x minus 4? If you FOIL that, I'm going to get 49 x squared minus 28 x. You need to multiply there as well. Negative 28x. And negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. Combine your like terms here in the center. 49x squared minus 56x plus 16. And that's our answer there. Number 4. What I noticed right away on number 4 is it's got a divide sign. Didn't copy real well there, but that's a divide sign. So I'm going to use synthetic division. I'm going to put negative 5 in the box. Let's see, 3, 2, 1, none. I don't need to put any placeholders in. So I put the coefficients, or the numbers in front. Leave a space. Bring down my 2. Multiply to get negative 10. Add to get 11. Multiply to get negative 55. Add to get negative 56. Let's see, negative 5 times negative 56 is 280. And that is going to give me 304. So when I write this, I'm going to want to write this 1 degree less. So I started with a third degree. I'll write it with a second degree. So 2x squared plus 11x minus 56 with a remainder of 304 over the divisor, which is x plus 5. So on number 5, what I see right away is that minus sign. So I'm going to distribute that minus sign to everything. And when I distribute it to everything, it's like multiplying by -1. So I'm going to make everything an opposite sign. So now, let's combine like terms. -2 and 9 is going to give me 7x squared. 10 and -2 is 8x. -3 and -1 is -4. So I'm going to circle that. I'm going to pause for just a second. Yeah, I just noticed a small little mistake that I made on 24, or on number 4. I should have had a negative sign right there, which is going to change that number right there and there. Let's see, 284 minus 24 is 256. All right, so we got that taken care of. All right, number 6 is going to be a FOIL. So multiply those two, and I get 3x cubed minus 18x squared minus 4x, and that'll be plus 24. There are no like terms to combine there, so we will leave it just like that. Alright, number 7, we're going to actually have to FOIL twice. So I'm going to go ahead and FOIL these two, and I'm going to get x squared minus 4x. Actually, let's do it in order. I don't want to confuse anybody. X squared plus 8x minus 4x minus 32. Combine your like terms and you get x squared plus 4x minus 32. But I still need to multiply that by x plus 3. So when I do that, I'm going to get x cubed plus 4x squared minus 32x plus 3x squared plus 12x minus 96. So if you need to, draw your arrows. You're going to multiply the x times everything in the second one and the 3 times everything. Then combine like terms, x cubed, and then my x squareds is going to be 7x squared. And then my x's, negative 32 and 12 is negative 20. And then minus 96. Alright, number 8, another division problem. And what I notice right away is I don't have an x cubed, so I'm going to put in a placeholder on that one. So it's going to be 1, 0, negative 6, 5, negative 1. Alright, leave a space, draw my line. I'm going to bring down the 1, that's 3, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Double check and make sure I didn't make any silly mistakes on it this time. And I should get x cubed, we're going to go down 1 degree, plus 3x squared plus 3x plus 14 with a remainder of 41. Alright, on this one, state the function at the given value. I'm just going to use direct substitution on this one. You could use synthetic substitution. So negative 3 cubed plus 2 times 3 squared plus 10. Order of operations, you can just put this in a calculator. 2 times 9. That's going to give me negative 9 plus 10, which is 1. Alright, decide whether the function is a polynomial. It is. If so, write it in standard form. You have to write the highest exponent first, and then you go down. The degree is 4. The classification on this, I would just call it polynomial, because there's 5 terms. And the leading coefficient is negative 8. Alright, we want to factor this one. So if I were going to factor, it's got 4 terms. I'm going to group the first 2 together and group the second 2 together. I'm going to factor out an x squared. I'll be left with x minus 2. Here, negative 9 goes into both of those terms. So I'm going to factor out a negative 9. It's like dividing each term by negative 9. I'll be left with x minus 2. So I'm going to have x minus 2 times x squared minus 9. Well, x squared minus 9 is a difference of 2 squares. That can be factored further. So I'm going to have x plus 3, x minus 3. Number 13, that's a difference of 2 squares. That's a perfect square. That's a perfect square. So I'm going to have 11x squared plus 4, 11x squared minus 4. Now, if 11 had been a perfect square, we could have done that further, but 11's not a perfect square, so I'm going to stop there. Number 14, I'm going to pull out my GCF, greatest common factor, first. And I need to find 2 numbers that multiply to 4 and add to negative 4. Well, 2 plus 2 is going to give me positive 4, and negative 2 plus negative 2 would also give me positive 4. I'm sorry, that would give me negative 4. I'm thinking multiplication. So I'm going to go with the negative 2 and negative 2, because when they multiply, they give me positive 4. So 6, w minus 2, w minus 2. All right. Oh, you know what? This one was probably a mistake to put on there. We aren't finding the zeros until the next chapter and graphing in the next part of the chapter. So we did not cover that part, but we can go ahead and factor that. Pull out a greatest common factor, x squared minus 6x plus 8. Find two numbers that multiply to 8, add to negative 6. They are negative 4 and negative 2. Negative 4 times negative 2 gives me positive 8. Negative 4 plus negative 2 gives me negative 6. All right. Determine whether the binomial is a factor. Well, on that we have to look and see what the remainder is. Does it go in evenly or not? So on this one I'm going to put 3 in the box. Negative 2, 15, negative 22, negative 15, 3, 2, 1, none. Bring it down. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. My remainder is 0, so yes. Factor. Do the same thing with part B over here. Put negative 1 in the box. My coefficients are 1, 7, 15, 9. Bring down the 1. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. And I'm going to be left with x squared plus 6x plus 9. And yes, x plus 1 is a factor. Sometimes they might ask you to factor further, and if they did, you would just take what's left over and factor it. Now this one did not ask you to do that. I'm just saying you might see it sometimes. All right. Determine whether the factor, oh, if so, factor. Okay, so this one they're going to want you to take a little bit further. Tell you what, on this one, actually, there's two ways I was going to approach it. I could pull out a GCF first, but I'm just going to put a couple placeholders in. So 2 in the box. So 6, negative 8, negative 6, negative 4. So I have 6, 5, 4, 3, wait, 6, sorry, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, none. All right, bring it down. 6, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, and it is. And I'm going to be left with 1 degree less. So 6x to the 4th plus 4x cubed plus 2x squared, and I'm not going to write 0x plus 0. But then it asks us to factor further, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out my greatest common factor now. And I'm going to be left with, oops, my GCF is actually 2x squared. I'll be left with 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. And I think I'm going to try slide and divide. Because if I were to multiply that by 3, I'd be left with x squared plus 2x plus 3. Let's see. There aren't any numbers that multiply to 3 and add to 2. So that's as far as I can go. Let's see if I can go a little bit further for the next one. On that one, my number in the box is going to be 6, 12, negative 69, 39, 30. 3, 2, 1, none. sure I didn't mess up on any signs. Bring that down. Multiply. Add. Multiply. Add. It's not going to work. So, because I can tell 57 times that is going to give me a big number. So I'm just going to say not a factor. All right, that was it. Enjoy.